Die lag nie.
Jy kan maar lag, dis fyn. Jy kan laat baie dan wanneer die kamera eventueel op jou is, ek kan altyd sê hy lag eintlik net omdat Andrew Engels praat. Hey everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. This is officially my first podcast with a guest. Today I invited Richard Kaplen from Fight Fitness to join us. He is the owner of Fight and also the coach. And today we're gonna jump around a bit in topics, but the main topic today is procrastination and overcoming procrastination. Also looking into exactly what procrastination can do to not only your health but to your entire life. So Richard, if you could just quickly tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, how did you get into specifically the functional fitness game, and yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for inviting me, Andrew. Thank you for taking some time out to talk to me today. Very nice setup that you've got here. Well done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Richard Kaplen, owner of Fight Fitness and head coach. I've been coaching and doing CrossFit for about 10 years now.
What motivated you to actually start coaching?
All right, so I mean, I've been training for a very long time. I started training when I was like 14 years old with my dad, and bodybuilding basically for many years. And I was introduced to CrossFit by a guy called Francois van der Merwe, who invited me, said, hey, come try it out. And I mean, back in those days, we used to do something called on-ramp for 2 weeks long. So which was quite a hardcore introduction to it. But honestly, after like the third session, I was pretty much just hooked with the style of CrossFit and also just the community vibe. And also, you know, actually feeling like I've trained for the first time in a very long time. And skip a few months forward, the coaching thing just naturally happened. It honestly it was always there. I never really had to work hard for it. I just always had the knack for it.
Awesome. I actually remember Francois, and I remember that box. That was the first CrossFit box.
Yeah, first CrossFit box in Bloem.
Yeah, and I think that was around about 2012,
late 2012, early 2013 is when I got involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I remember the on-ramp. I remember taking guys there and then so a PVC pipe's an amazing weight or tool in CrossFit. It's just insane. So I take a friend there and like the guy can barely walk for about a week.
Yep.
After doing the on-ramp.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
I think my first workout was Fran, which was 2159 pull-ups and thrusters on RX weight, which was 40 kilos.
Eesh.
First workout ever.
And that's now from a gym, like a bodybuilding gym environment.
From bodybuilding to that, from all the bodybuilding stuff, I was so stiff. I mean, my mobility just completely sucked. I really, really struggled. But yeah, that's how it is.
That's awesome. So, so about procrastination specifically, and this is the topic that I thought it's a good topic because I went through some hectic stuff in the past 2 or 3 years, and procrastination was a big deal. I actually told Anton a bit earlier. I should have taken screenshots of our first. So I think it was 2021 January, and I reached out to you because I kind of realized like I'm in deep shit.
Mm-mm.
And I knew, luckily, because I had some training background, I knew that training was a great way to kind of break the barrier or just kind of break through that first wall and get going.
Yeah.
And that it has a much bigger effect on the guy than just, you know, getting fit. And I remember reaching out to you January 2021, and you said, listen, pop in 5 o'clock, I'll see you next week, whatever. My next reply was January 2022. So talk about procrastination. I mean, that's bad.
Procrastination is one thing. Also, I think a lot of people talk about failure to launch. You know, literally just a failure to start. You know, within business, you know, like for example, in business, if you tell someone, okay, listen, man, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to know maybe the first 2 to 3 years, you're not really going to make that much money. that's going to be the first like red flag for them to start, so they're going to procrastinate because they're going to look at all the obstacles, around that. When we talk specifically in our field of like CrossFit, for example, most of the time procrastination's got more to do with the fact that people think they want something but they don't actually want it. For example, come in, do you want to be fit, do you want to be be healthy, get the lifestyle sorted, get the meal plan sorted out. As soon as you got to actually start training and actually start eating right, that's when people kind of like start falling off the bus because they think they can't do it. And I mean, you see for yourself in class every single day, people are like, there's no way I'm going to do a pull-up. I'm like, okay, but listen, there's like 15 different ways we can do a pull-up. So you can do it. We just got to get it to what's going to work for you. And I think that's mainly, why people procrastinate, because they see the end goal and they're like, I'll never get there. So I'm just not even going to start. Let me just, not start, basically.
Yeah. So, and procrastination also, just kind of, on purpose, like leaving something and not starting it out. I think that also has a massive effect mentally.
Yeah.
Like eventually it actually worsens the situation because you should have started, you should have done, you should have taken that first step or just started small, started with something, and guys keep on, putting it out, and then eventually it actually worsens the mental aspect of the whole thing. And this is something that happened to me. I mean, I joke, my wife was pregnant with Andrew Jr., and we went to Port Nolloth in 2021, and there's a picture, and I'm sure I think I'll put it up in post. I'll definitely add the picture just to show you guys. Man, so there's a picture where we're standing next to each other, and you can really see if it's, was she pregnant or me.
Oh, I remember. You showed me. I think you showed me this.
That's bad. So
yeah, it was bad, man.
and you see this stuff. So you see it. You had the opportunity to start. You had the opportunity to actually begin with something, and you skipped out on it. And it's just kind of waiting there, and you keep on setting out. And I think what you said about people see the end result first. They only see what it's supposed to look like, and they don't see the process of getting there and the process of getting through procrastination. So that was man, I was in such bad shape.
Yeah, look, a lot of times, honestly, also, like I say with the pull-up, for example,
you can use double unders if you want.
yeah, let's just use a pull-up. Like, because if you don't have a coach or someone that's going to show you and teach you the way, you're going to think, okay, you're going to have to go from 1 to 10. But as soon as you get a coach or someone that can help you, they're like, okay, but listen, first go 1, 2, 3, step by step, follow the process and get to the end. Where a lot of people just want to jump from the beginning straight to the end, and they just basically burn out. And
Do you have any personal experience with a time in your life or something in your life where procrastination where you were setting something, kind of leaving something or skipping out on something?
To be very honest with you, I've been training since I'm 14 years old.
Yeah.
So I've cultivated that like mindset since
awesome.
a very young age, thanks to my father, obviously pulled me into the gym. So I cannot honestly say that procrastination has been much of an issue for me. It's always kind of been for me more of an issue like, okay, now you've got to rest. So that's been more something that I've had to work on, is to figure out how to pace myself and to sometimes just be okay with the fact that you've got to take some rest days as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. You said you started training when you were 14. I actually saw a picture of Richard when he was like 6 or 7. And I think that's when he started training, because you already had like a six-pack.
I started training in the gym when I was 14.
Yeah.
But before that, a lot of sports.
Yeah. So when I finally answered or replied to your WhatsApp, it's so funny. I mean, I'll put that up as well, because I think it's so. The WhatsApp's like, hey, bro, and you sent me the prices and whatnot, and then It's just quiet. There's no reply from my
Oh, yeah.
side. And then January 2022, the next entry. It's like, okay, I'll see you. I'll see you 5 o'clock Monday. But training to actually get over. So getting over, putting something out or leaving, not doing something is also. There's also training involved in that to get to that place in your mind where you can actually just keep. You need to. So first
Yeah.
you make the decision, and then it starts. Then you start to train how to show up. I remember lying in my bed, January 2022. I said I'm gonna join. I'll be there. I remember typing you WhatsApps like long explanations of.
Excuses.
I was like, I can't send this. Like, this is gonna look so bad. So I just like get out of
I think
bed.
I'm a loser.
And I was like, this is not gonna work. He's not gonna fall for
Yeah.
this. And then eventually I just just get out of bed and show up.
Yeah,
That's what you always say. You always said,
Yeah.
show up. Just show up. And that really, really stuck.
Look, man, to get back to like the mental thing, procrastination and basically not doing what you're supposed to do will have a knock-on effect in your life and everything you do. So there's a very famous saying: every discipline affects every other discipline. So if you can't get up in the morning, you're not gonna wash the dishes. You're not gonna clean the house. This it's a knock-on effect. It just keeps going and going. And also, a big thing is also your self-confidence. Something that I have genuinely seen over the years is when you can do something, you're supposed to do it, and you don't do it, it really tends to have a big knock on your self-esteem. So you start having like self-shame, self-guilt, all those kind of like feelings that come in, and it just builds up, and it's a snowball effect in your mind. Really just messes with your mental state, where if you just simply do the work, just get up and just get going and do it step by step. Little by little makes a lot. It's like I said in the beginning, the problem is everyone wants to go from 0 to 10.
Yeah.
They don't just want to follow small, systematic steps, one after the other, building to an end goal. And, the mental thing is massive, man. I mean, like you've seen as well. Just the fact that you get up in the morning and get into that routine, it's already a win for the day. It's the first thing you do in the day. You've already
100%.
won. So by the time you get to work, you're like, I've already won getting up. I've already, started my day. Everyone else is still figuring out what they're going to do and, just kind of like waking up. But I'm already good to go. It's a massive mental advantage.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I remember when it took me about like probably 4 or 5 months just to get to that point where I started waking up before the alarm. And that turned into me getting excited the night before to wake up before the alarm goes off to get to training.
Yeah.
And that definitely had a huge impact on a lot of other things outside the box, outside the training. So, a lot of small things. It can be something so stupid. You made an example. You said, washing the dishes. Like in our house now, it's like an army base.
It's routine.
Like, it's routine, and it's
Systematic.
just there. And when we get back from training, it's breakfast, dishes, tonight, eat dishes, just simple small stuff, small wins.
Yeah.
Straight through the day.
You're creating habits of confidence.
Of course. So how do you think, specifically in the type of training that we do and the type of coaching that you do, how can that training actually foster, discipline, consistency? How can it help accomplish those types of?
Well, look, the first thing, consistency, that's on the person themselves. So they've got to actually, just show up and be consistent. But if you're looking at like how the training actually does something, first of all, it's difficult. Whenever you do something that's difficult, you have a response in your body. Your epigenetics like activates in your body. Is like, listen, I've got to change and adapt to be able to handle this. So whenever you're putting your body under a certain amount of stresses, you get stronger, in a stress environment. That's the first thing. The second thing is we target things in our training that people always avoid. People always avoid stretching. They always avoid mobility. They always avoid the things that are uncomfortable. But as soon as you get forced by a coach to say, okay, no, listen, man, like your shoulders are very tight. We've got to do something about this. You start doing that. You start to realize, you're like, geez, it's actually nice to work for something that's hard, and now I'm getting it. Now it's possible. You kind of get addicted to that feeling of hard work pays off. So you're like, I actually want more hard work because I know the payoff's gonna feel so good afterwards.
Yes. Yes.
And slowly but surely that starts to become, this systematic thing of building confidence.
Definitely. That's awesome. And I can really relate to a lot of the stuff. Just that, like, I shouldn't go there, but with like double unders. The other day, that video you posted on WhatsApp, I'm watching things like, man, I told my wife, I said, shit, I think I think that was aimed at me. I'm not sure. Double unders, specifically double unders. But yeah, it's
But imagine you conquering that.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine the feeling, imagine the confidence that you get just to know that, listen, man, I've actually got this ability. I can do so much more than what I thought I could do.
Most definitely. And it was the exact same thing, getting to a muscle up, getting that ring muscle up that day.
Exactly.
It's huge.
And you can apply that to everything. I mean, if you look at business, if you look at relationships, whatever, you're like, listen, if you actually work towards something, you can actually get there in the end. It rolls. It's one big snowball effect.
Yes, most definitely. And Tom, so creating a positive and a good environment to help to actually, how does that and how can that help people to get over this?
Yeah, I mean that's a very interesting question, because that was one of the big things that I went through as a coach that I also had to learn, is that every single thing that I do or don't do affects everyone that I coach. So I also had to go through some things and some struggles to be able to figure out, listen, I've actually got to focus on being happy and enjoying my life, because if I get there and I'm miserable, the people pick up on it, and my responsibility is to give them a great time, being positive influence on them. But you can only do that if you are positive, within yourself. So that was a very interesting journey, definitely for myself as well. But as soon as I realized, and this it took quite a bit of time, but as soon as I realized that it's not about me and it's about everyone else, things just changed immediately.
Wow.
Once that clicked, I'm like, listen, okay, you got to rest now and just calm down a bit, because if you don't, you're going to get to class and be miserable and tired, and people are going to see that. So yeah, that was kind of like a journey for myself to get to that point. And then once you get there, and you figure this thing out, that, life's not about you, it's about every single other person around you, it's actually quite easy then to try and, help people and be positive for them.
Definitely.
Because the focus is on them.
Yes.
Focus is not on you.
Any advice on setting achievable, for individually, setting achievable goals to build up to that point? You touched on that a bit earlier. To show up and just start with small things.
No, the best advice I could give is just start small and build up. And, where I see people fail all the time is they set themselves a goal like, this is the weight that I want to be, or this is the body fat percentage that I want to be. And with respect, that's like the completely wrong way to go about it. Better goal is, listen, let me just show up 3 times a week for a month. Once I've achieved that goal, then you can move to, okay, I'm going to do 4 times a week for a month. Once you've created those habits and the consistency, you can then say, all right, listen, maybe I want to get a bit stronger in this particular movement. Let me set a goal in this movement. Because all of that, once you train like an athlete, you're going to start looking like an athlete. But everyone wants to start with, I want to look like an athlete.
Yeah.
So just rather start with train like an athlete, not saying like a competitive athlete, but I mean, someone who's pushing a bit more and, working on weaker points. So if you're not good at gymnastics, then just do a little bit more gymnastics, instead of setting a goal of, this is the body fat that I want, and then you're just miserable because you're hungry all the time.
Yeah.
You feel crappy all the time. And in your head, you just got this thing rolling like, I can't eat that, I can't do this, I can't this. It's a horrible, horrible way to go about it. So my advice, set goals in terms of showing up consistently first. Once you've got consistency, then start setting goals with movements and, movement patterns. With those things, the diet and everything, with a coach that can help you, it gets dialed in pretty easily.
It's so important. I mean, the amount of leadership or motivation that we get from you as a coach in the box, just insane. You really, I told in the mornings. So I kind of pride myself on this. I try very hard to be there first. I missed a couple of spots, but I told you, Landy, this guy shows up every single class. It's just the amount of trouble that you go to and the amount of effort that you put in for everybody there is really, it's really something.
But it's because it's not about me.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you said. Yeah. So no, that's really impressive. Then, so last year I remember there was a stage where I got a bit of maybe because I didn't rest, don't listen to the coach, and I actually got a small, I won't call it an injury, but
spasm.
Yeah, which it set me back for I think it was about 2 months that I was struggling with that thing.
Yeah.
And then just as I think, okay, it's fine, then I push too hard and then it's back. And so yeah, setbacks and failures in this process. These things happen, and it feels horrible when that happens. Ways or some advice on dealing with setbacks, because for some guys a small setback, it'll set them back completely. They'll just fall back into the old ways.
Yep.
So any advice on set, and this isn't necessarily only in training. How do you deal with these types of things outside?
That's not very difficult. It's actually quite easy. If someone's already walked the path, just follow their footsteps instead of trying to create your own. So if you have a coach, and I would advise anyone, just get a coach, someone who's been in the game for, quite some time. If you have a coach who's going to coach you and see you every single day, he's going to pick up and say, hey, Andrew, you need to go rest, bro. Like, maybe take a day or two off. Very difficult with men. I had the same thing this morning once again. That's why I love coaching women, because if you tell them do this, they do that. If you tell them rest, they go rest. If you tell them eat like this, they eat like that. But men always a bit more clever, like, nah, I'll show the coach,
alpha male.
Yeah, I'll show the coach, and then that would be my advice is get a coach that can create a relationship with, because once a coach has created a relationship with someone, they can pick up on their personality, on their habits. They can see when someone's off, and they'll basically just say, okay, hey, listen, man, instead of burning out, just take 3 days off, go eat a lot of food, recover, give your body a break and some time to recoup, and then come back again. It happens a lot of times, like you said now, some setbacks put people out 100%. I've seen that multiple times, like over and over. And it's genuinely just because people don't listen. Like, I don't really have anything other than that I can say. It's just, if you tell someone go rest and they don't, and they burn out, it's because they didn't listen. So my best advice, just get a coach. Get a coach that can help you.
Yeah, someone, like you said, just, following the footsteps of someone who's walked the road or been there.
This is not a very difficult game.
Yeah.
It's actually very straightforward. But if you want to go and be a trailblazer and do your own thing, you will burn out. You will fail, and fail is part of learning. That is fine, but there's a very fine line between what's necessary and unnecessary.
Yeah, it's looking at training, outside training, outside the box, with what's happening in people's personal lives. I guess it's the same thing. Your marriage failed. It's not the first time that happened. Your company failed. It's not the first time that happened to someone. And they are, just follow in the footsteps. And there's definitely enough information available to get the right info from someone. So, and then other thing that's really amazing, we touched on that a bit earlier, was the support system, the community that you built, and the community that kind of in a fight fitness that is something so special. That's just amazing. I mean, these people they start feeling like old friends, like
Yeah.
family almost. It's something amazing, and I think that support system, and I've received some more personal support within that community, is something just that's also something just so awesome. So well done on
Thanks,
that.
man.
Yeah, that's definitely something amazing. Um, have you seen any big? Are there any big success stories that really stand out from? And it's not necessarily again just in the box, but big success stories from maybe members or somebody who's been there after training, after being a part of the community. Anything you can point out, and you don't have to mention specifically.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know where to start. It's too much. It's honestly too much. I mean, it's just, like one guy the other day is like, listen, man, my squash has gone from this to this. And it's
Yeah,
just like, I feel so good. I feel so fit. I mean, I can't even, I don't want to start with stories because I don't know where it will end, to be
yeah,
very honest with you.
yeah.
But if I have to pinpoint out just one thing that
Mm.
a lot of people say over and over and over, it's just that they feel so good.
Mm. Most definitely.
Yeah. If I start on success stories of someone going from this to this, I mean, we'll be busier the whole day, man.
Yeah. So your Unified Fitness. This is the second time around.
Yeah.
So how long has it been going now?
So Unified Fitness will be 3 years this year in October.
Wow.
2023 October will be 3 years. Before that, I ran a previous CrossFit gym for about four and a half years.
Mm.
And then, yeah.
Okay. So obviously, training and having a coach and getting into the community and getting into the support system over there has got a massive effect on helping, overcoming procrastination and overcoming not starting with certain things. Um, is and can I call it CrossFit, or should we call it functional fitness? Or
It doesn't even matter.
so the training over there is that I've seen. So I know that you from young to old. But it's anyone can join. Anyone can
Yeah.
come in. Anyone can become part of it. Is there anything that guys should look out for? Or, you know,
No, man, look, honestly, on the whole topic, like we're talking about procrastination. I mean, I think you've heard this before as well. People are like, no, I want to go, but I first want to get fit. Or they're like, no, I want to go, I'm going to go, but I first want to lose some weight. I'm like, geez, man, you go to a facility like this because you're unfit. You go
Yeah.
to a facility like this because you're out
exactly,
of shape,
exactly.
So, I mean, that's always very funny. But the best thing is just honestly, like I said from the start, is just do little small steps every day, build consistency first. And if everything just kind of falls in place. The community that we have, the structure that we have, everything is already there for you. You literally just have to show up.
That's awesome.
That's literally it.
Yeah. I know, like a lot of guys. Then you invite them, and and then they're like, I just want to let me just get fit. I was like, I know a guy. I know a place. I can. Like, do you need a
Yeah.
lift? I'll take you there.
No,
Just-
it's hilarious, man.
Just show up.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
show up. Are there any other thoughts or any other advice you'd like to give guys out there who maybe find themselves stuck in a place, or stuck somewhere, be it outside or inside? I know for a fact to show up at in a fight and to keep on showing up, it's got a massive effect outside. But any advice, anything that you can, somebody who's maybe in a bad spot.
My advice is, like I said, get someone who's already walked the path. Get a coach, get someone that can help you. Because if you're going to just head out on this, whether you're struggling physically, struggling mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever, like whatever you're struggling with, instead of trying to sit there and figure this thing out on your own, just get someone who's already walked the path. Get someone that can lead you and help you and guide you throughout the path. There's no point sitting in silence and hoping things are going to change. You need to get someone that's going to put you into an uncomfortable, position where you are forced to growth and forced to deal with stuff so that you can move on and get on with your life. Life is honestly too short to be miserable and sad all the time.
Most
And
definitely.
it's not nice being overweight. It's not nice not being fit. I always say to people this, like, whether you train and live a healthy lifestyle, that's going to be hard. If you don't train and you live an unhealthy lifestyle, that's also going to be hard. Everyday tasks are hard. Just to get on a roof is hard, So you're always going to have a hard in life.
Yeah.
But just choose a hard, and get someone that can help you, deal with it and figure out how to do it,
Most definitely. So I would definitely recommend anybody, if you are in a place where things aren't looking too good, just show up, and we'll leave a link in
Thanks,
just below
man.
the video for Unified Fitness in Longenhaven Park. So guys, really, make the effort and pitch up. You mentioned hard things, and you mentioned the word uncomfortable now. Those are probably some of the best triggers to listen to and to use.
Yeah.
Like when something feels uncomfortable, that's exactly when you need to fire. You need to go.
Yeah.
You need to act on that.
You need to seek it out.
Yes, definitely. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. And Richard, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and we appreciate you at Inner Fight. You are truly someone to look up to.
Thanks, man.
And we value the time there. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, guys.
Cool.